I spent 7 days in Marrakech, and here's everything you need to know, including how much I spent and what I would and wouldn't do again next time I come visit. So grab your popcorn because it's about to get real good. My name is Lauren. I've been traveling full time while working remotely, and every month I go to a new city. It's hectic, but weirdly, it's fancy in a way, which is contradicting, so let me explain. Inside the Medina, it's wild. Like, you're walking, the streets are narrow, scooters are passing by, they're selling all kinds of things, food, rugs, jewelry, like it's hectic. And then you step outside and you have so much to choose from. You have a lot of the more local places, and this is exactly how our tour guide explained it, like the local eateries, the places where the locals go to hang out. And then on the other hand, you have this very luxurious place to Marrakech, which was built a lot for the tourist. I feel like here you can either go traditional or fancy. And even though it's hectic, I feel like after 2 days, my body just started getting used to it. Like, I was getting used to crossing the streets and having the cars like almost not stop. It's also my first time in Africa, so I can't really compare it to any other city here because I haven't been to any other place, but it does kind of remind me a little bit of Thailand, especially Bangkok, where you have like the motorcycles just always all over the place, like a lot of heavy traffic, a lot of people on the streets, a lot going on at all times, sounds, smells, what you're seeing, like it's all happening. And now, while the language is Arabic, I feel like 90% of the people speak French, but that's also because it's this part of Morocco, more towards the northern part of Morocco, where they're literally like, I think I saw a video where they're less than 20 kilometers from Spain. That region speaks a lot more Spanish, but here in Marrakech, it's heavy on the French influence. And English is also very common. I didn't get to explore other cities in Morocco outside of Marrakech, but Marrakech in general is very touristy. So mostly everyone, especially the tour guides or the people selling to you, they're gonna speak Arabic, English, Spanish, French, like Hebrew, all kinds of languages. It's wild how talented these people are. In seconds, they'll translate to the whole group. Like, these people know all types of languages. While ChatGPT and Google are going to recommend the same 5 places that are honestly also all over the vlogs that you see, which are going to the Yves Garden, the picture perfect Instagram rooftops, the camel rides, the ATVs, and the hot air balloons, I'm going to give you my top 4 activities that I thought were actually worth it when visiting Marrakech. Coming in at number 1, and probably my favorite experience here in Marrakech, is cooking class with Rachid. I booked it on Airbnb, and the location, the food, the vibe, like the views, everything was stunning. Literally a 5 out of 5. And there's a lot of cooking classes to choose from, but really I compared it and this one looked like the best. It's a bit more pricey than the other ones that you'll see on Airbnb, but honestly, just the setting, the fact that it was also like a private thing. The other ones look like they have like more than 20 people. This one was just completely worth the experience. I think it's actually the only one that has fully 5 stars, and there's a reason why. You also learn about the culture while you're cooking the typical dishes, which are insane. My favorite is the typical tagine, which you can make from vegetables or any kind of meat. Rashid uses not only what's in season, but also what's most adequate for the entire group. So it's just a top-notch experience. Number 2, the walking tour in the Medina with Ismail. Now, I'm not the one to do walking tours, but this is a place where you want to know the ins and outs. And not only that, but having booked it the first day and having him walk us through the Medina, like take us through all these tiny little streets that I would have never even known like how to enter, or if I could enter, or if I was going to get lost in there, because it's literally a maze. Having him show us like how the dynamics work, how the locals all interact, how you buy from the markets, that was priceless. So I highly recommend doing it, and you learn a ton along the way. Number 3, the Hammam spa. I had seen tons of videos online, and if you've seen them too, you know there's mixed reviews about this experience. Because overall, people are pretty divided, like 50-50, whether they liked it or they thought this was like a terrible experience. A hammam is the typical bath and shower that Moroccans used to do. Well, they still do, but it started when not everyone had a hot shower in their home. So they would come to these spas and basically get like the deep, full shower done. Hard scrub, shampoo, like a sitting in a hot sauna so it all soaks in your skin, and you leave with like soft, silky baby skin. Obviously now it's transitioned from what it started as, and it's sculpted for the tourist to experience it. There's public ones which can start at like $3, and that's like the the real local experience. There's ones where females and males are separate, and in a lot of the riads, which are the typical hotels here, where you have like a boutique style and all the rooms are facing inwards towards the courtyard, and most of the courtyards will have like this garden and pool area. Like they're very pretty. Well, in most of these, they have the experience and it's small and private. You can go with your partner, you can go with whoever you're traveling with and do the experience at the same time. We did the one in the Riyadh called Riyadh Al Qasar. It was a great experience. I wouldn't say 5 stars, but next time I'd want to go all the way super fancy and try the one at the Hotel Mamounia, which has awards for being one of the best hotels in the world. Activity number 4, going to the Agafay Desert. You can go for a lunch day trip, for a dinner and a show, for a camel ride, for an ATV, or even spend the night. A lot of the places in the desert will have like the glamping or the tent style stays. This trip we went for the sunset camel ride. We also booked it via Airbnb experiences and it was stunning. The views are just insane, and the fact that you're like 30 to 40 minutes outside of the city and you already have like this completely different landscape is stunning. Next time I would stay just one night so that you can get like that stunning sunrise with that scene, like that calm, peaceful experience of just like waking up in the middle of the desert. The best ones I found were Al Qamar and B Agafay. If you're coming for 5 days or less, I would recommend a riad inside or near the Medina. And if you're staying a bit longer like I did, we did 7 days, then I would recommend an Airbnb in the Giles area. There are stunning options to choose from at great prices, and the Giles area is super walkable and has a lot to do without feeling super hectic like inside the Medina. As a female, safety is a huge topic and something that I always like to talk about, because while I do currently travel with my partner, I'm huge on people doing solo trips, especially females. Would I do a solo trip here? Probably not. Not because it isn't safe, but because from what I saw, I didn't really see that it was that easy to meet other travelers. Like for example, it would be in Portugal, which I highly recommend everyone visit to, whether you're going solo, on a trip with a partner, or even like a family vacation. And that video I'll leave over here. But in terms of safety, I was super surprised, because normally in places that are hectic with so many people going around, people always warn you like, be careful with pickpocketing and like just petty crimes. And here, from everything the locals told us and even experiencing it for 7 days, that was not the case. It felt extremely safe. From the Medina to Giles, it's like a 30-40 minute walk. And even at night, the streets are very lively, like everyone's walking. And at no point did I ever feel like unsafe. And now let's jump into the cost, which I love sharing, because before I started traveling, I would always watch so many videos and wonder like, okay, how much are people spending? Like, what are all these experiences costing? Because nobody talks about it. So if you like seeing the cost breakdown, make sure to hit the subscribe button so I can know. YouTube analytics literally tells me how many people are subscribing from this exact video in specific. So that'll be my sign to keep doing the cost breakdown for every city that I go to. Drum roll. I usually like starting off with the Airbnb cost, just because it is like the biggest and I think the primary in any place that you travel to. So this Airbnb that you see right here for 7 days came out to a total of $502.69. These amounts are all going to be in US dollars. And like I always mention in my cost breakdown videos, this isn't super budget traveling and this isn't super luxurious traveling. I'd say it's like right down the middle. You can obviously spend way less and you can obviously also spend a lot more. Next, we have the actual activities here in the city, and that came out to $387.33. Which I thought was pretty good. Overall, I think we did a good mix of activities here. Next, we have dining, and for that, the total was $172.74. Groceries, we always like buying stuff for like snacks and then to have breakfast in the morning. That was $126.43. Shopping, $38.64. I think this was just a perfume that I bought. And lastly, cash. This is a very heavy cash-based society. A lot of the things you're gonna have to pay in cash, for example, taxis, some smaller restaurants. If you don't book the activities via Airbnb or something online, most of them will be cash. So for that, we withdrew $300, and that brings our total to $1,527.83 for a full week here in Marrakech. I made an entire travel guide for Marrakech that I'll link below with everything you need to know, a lot more of the activities that I did, places to recommend, and everything has links so that when you come, you can travel worry-free without spending tons of hours doing research on what places are worth going to and what's not worth going to. So I'll leave the link to that down below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like seeing the cost breakdown so I know to continue doing them. The next destination I'm headed to starts with the letter D, so take a guess down below in the comments where you think it is. It is one of the places that I'm most excited to visit, and I know you guys are going to be dying to see that cost breakdown. So I'll see you back on this same channel next time. Bye-bye.